Now that we have set up a project over here, let's understand something very trivial. There are two things in Photoshop that are often confused by a lot of people: image size and canvas size. Think of it this way. If you're working on a sheet of paper and you want the paper to be bigger so you can draw more, then you're changing the canvas size. But if you've already drawn on a paper and you stretch the entire thing, making the drawing on the paper also bigger along with the paper, then it's the image size. And that's what we see in this particular tutorial. Let's understand image and canvas resizing. Let's start with this. Let me bring in a simple image and present you something. So here I've imported one image from my computer, which is image of this cat. Let me make this slightly bigger from what it originally is. When I do that, you can see that the image is slightly bigger than the canvas. And let me place it somewhere in the center. Now I've placed one image over here. What if I wanted to reduce the white space around this photo? I can do that by changing the canvas size. Now I can find that under my image panel. If I click on canvas size, you can see the current width right now is 1890 pixels and the height is 14 and 17 pixels. I can also change that into inches or centimeters because the default Photoshop size is 16 by 12 centimeters. Let's try to understand it this way. I can increase the height of the canvas. I can make it, let's say, 17 centimeters. If I click on OK, you can expect what would happen. The height of the document has increased. Let me zoom out a little so that you can see this clearly. You can see how the image is now smaller than the canvas size. Very similarly, I can also reduce the width of the canvas by selecting or going to canvas size, decreasing the number of centimeters for width. Let's make it 40. The error that comes up or the message that comes up over here, it says the new canvas is smaller than the current canvas size. Some clipping will occur. That basically means if any of my layers or images is within the bounds of the canvas that we are trying to reduce, this would or this could get cropped. If I click on proceed, thankfully my image was shorter than the size reduction. So that's why none of the image got clipped. This is basically understanding how the canvas size changes. If I do something very similar, which is changing the image size. Now, if you remember the example I gave back earlier, it was changing the size of the image on the paper along with the paper. So this is what my current canvas looks like. The image size is 9.5 M, which basically also amounts to 9.5 MB. Not really true, but it could be somewhere around that number. And the current dimensions are given according to this. I can see it in inches or centimeters. Let's see it in centimeters because we're used to that. Now I can change the size of the image. The clipping over here means the width and the height are going to get scaled in an equal proportion. So if from 14 I have changed this to 28, that means I'm basically doubling it. The height would also change from 17 to, you guessed it, 34. Almost about it, but yeah, that's also because of the kind of resolution that we are working with. I can also change the resolution of the image at the same time. I can make it slightly higher in resolution or lower. Let's go with lower. Now this image is of the new size that we have created. Every element that was part of the image has also gotten scaled up or scaled down accordingly. There's one other way to reduce or fix the canvas exactly what I want to be. There is a crop tool that's visible right over here, this particular tool. If I click on this, it opens up new boundaries near my canvas that is visible on all the four sides and in fact all the four corners as well. And I can use my arrows just to bring it to the size that I want. So with that, I am removing the entire boundary that is around this image. Let's fix it right there, and it very nicely snaps right over here. Scroll down. That's it. And that's how I've been able to crop this. If I click on tick, it will have cropped my image. And this is one other way to change the canvas size. Now this feature is particularly useful when you're working with mood boards where you probably need more canvas size or a bigger canvas to play around with, or in case at any point in time you might want to change from one dimension to another dimension, then you can change the same image in and create it or save it as a different file after you've already saved it in one form. Nice. Moving on. Moving on to the next piece, which will be opening and closing project files.